Well, the series will go back to Houston for Game 6, unfortunately, as the Houston cheating trash cans come back from a 4-0 deficit early. Adam Duvall hit a grand slam. Freddie Freeman hit a home run. But it's the Astros small ball that has done the damage tonight, as Houston beats Atlanta 9-5, and they stave off elimination. And yes, the Braves' 7-game home winning streak has been snapped. And, well, they're going to have to do it in Houston now. And it's not going to be easy. So I think Houston's going to go to a bullpen game. And I think Max Fried will be well rested for Game 6. But yeah, so we're going to have November baseball again this year. But Atlanta still leads 3-2. And it would have been nice to see the Braves close it out at home in front of their fans. But now it's going back to Houston, Texas for Game 6. And actually, we'll see what happens in this Game 6. And meanwhile, here's a few memorable Game 5s that we saw. Especially Game 5. Last year, the Dodgers and Braves were tied at 2-2, and the Dodgers won Game 5 and would go up 3-2 and win it in 6. And then 2 years ago, the Astros won Game 5 and took 3 in a row in D.C. However, the Washington Nationals would win the last 2 road games in D.C. In Houston. Something we will never see again. And so yes, anything can happen. And of course, in 2018, it was painful to see the Red Sox beat the Dodgers in Game 5 of the World Series in 2018. Back in 2017, it was a great game in Houston between the Dodgers and the Astros, but unfortunately, the Dodgers lost 13-12 in that game as well, and we lost in 7. And then, of course, 2016, the Cubs staved off elimination by salvaging Game 5 at home in front of their fans at Wrigley. And the Cubs went back to Cleveland down 3-2, and they won the series in 7. And, of course, in 2015, the Royals won Game 5 of the World Series in 2015 at Citi Field in New York in extra innings. And, of course, 2014, it was Madison Bumgarner's Game 5 masterpiece against the Royals. Giants won in 7 that year. 2013 in St. Louis, the Reds, it was 2-2. The Red Sox won Game 5 to go up 3-2, and they won in 6. 2011, Game 5, it was 2-2. The Rangers won Game 5 to go up 3-2. However, they lost the last 2 games in St. Louis. We'll talk about that later in the Game 6 episode. And, of course, 2010 was also painful when the Giants beat the Rangers in Game 5 in Arlington. Then in 2009, it was the New York Yankees and Phillies. Yankees were up 3-1. However, the Phillies won Game 5, but the Yankees won in 6. That's when Chase Utley went on a tear. And, of course, 2006 and 2008, the Cardinals and the Phillies respectively won their World Series in front of their fans at home. And then, of course, I have to say the best Game 5 that ever took place was back in 2001 on November the 1st. 20 years ago, that series was tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 of the World Series between Mike Mussina and Miguel Batista pitched really well in that game. Solo homers by Steve Finley and backup catcher Rob Barajas made it 2-0 in the 5th inning. And that game held until the bottom of the 8th inning. And then the Diamondbacks were 3 outs away from taking a commanding 3-2 lead in Game 5. Jorge Posada gets a leadoff double off of Byung-Hyun Kim. However, he gets the next two guys out. And then Scott Brocious, who faced Kim the night before, who struck out and fly to right, went deep again. And wow, deja vu happened all over again. Game 4 it was Tino Martinez. Game 5 it was Scott Brocious. And that game would remain tied 2-2 up until the 12th inning. And of course, let's go to the 11th inning with Mariano Rivera on the mound. He gives up back-to-back singles to Arubio Durazo and to Danny Bautista on first pitch strikes. However, Matt Williams bunts the runners over to second and third, only to walk Steve Finley intentionally, but the Ducks were on the pond. Mariano Rivera got ahead of Reggie Sanders 0-2, but then Reggie Sanders lined out to Alfonso Soriano, and then Mark Grace hits a ground out. But in the 12th inning, Chuck Knobloch gets a single. Scott Brocious bunts him to second. And then Alfonso Soriano lines a single to right field. Chuck Knobloch scores the winning run. Yankees win the game 3-2, and they take a 3-2 lead in that World Series at that point. And that's what happens. So, meanwhile, have a good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Peace out.